2 in the morning. The phone's screen cast a dim blue light on my sweat-slicked face. I was ordering combination soup. I hate the heat. I hate being trapped in this 11th floor apartment, where the air has grown thick after 3 hours without power. The single candle I'd found was guttering on the dining table, smelling of cheap wax, making the air even more suffocating. My stomach cramped with hunger. I paid with my card. I got to the driver instructions. My fingers hesitated. I live alone. This is my biggest secret and my biggest fear. In this crumbling old building where the walls are paper thin, I always feel like I'm being watched. I typed, "Please don't ring the bell. Someone is sleeping. Just leave the food at the door. Thanks." A harmless lie, a fragile defense. I hit confirm. I sat with my back against the front door, the only place in the apartment with a hint of air circulation. I could hear the building's old pipes groaning, the drip, drip, drip of a leaky pipe somewhere on the floor above. This building was settling, groaning. I tried not to think about being here, alone in the dark. I closed my eyes, trying to drift off. I was almost asleep when the sound came. It wasn't the polite chime of the doorbell. It was pounding, thud, thud, thud. It didn't sound like a fist. It sounded like someone was using something heavy, maybe the heel of a boot, to slam against the old wooden door. The entire frame vibrated. My heart leaped, lodging itself in my throat. Who is it? I tried to keep my voice steady, but it cracked. Delivery. A man's voice, hoarse and annoyed, echoed through the door. Combination soup. I crawled over, pressing my eye to the peephole. Outside was a wall of black. The hallway power was out too. I couldn't see anything but pitch darkness. "I left a note to leave it at the door," I said, my voice starting to tremble. "You can just leave it. I already paid." "Can't do it," the man snapped. His voice was sharp with impatience. "The soup spilled all over the bag. It's a mess out here. You have to open up and confirm it. Take a picture. If you don't, the company won't approve the order and I lose the money." A reasonable excuse, but the tone wasn't. It was too aggressive for someone who just wanted to complete a delivery. "I don't need to," I said quickly, backing away an inch. "I accept the order. I won't complain. I'm marking it as received right now. You can just go." I fumbled with my phone, my fingers slipping on the sweaty screen. I hit the order received button, hoping he would leave, but he didn't leave. He went quiet. The silence was worse than the pounding. I kept my eye glued to the peephole, still just darkness, but I knew he was still there. I could hear him breathing, a heavy, wheezing breath, right on the other side of the door. He was waiting, and then he spoke, a sentence that made my blood freeze solid. "Hey girl." His voice dropped, became diseased, almost a whisper. "Under your doormat, there's a key." I stumbled back a step, nearly falling. My whole body went cold. How did he know? I really did hide a spare key there, a stupid habit from college I'd never broken. I thought it was safe. "What key?" "I don't know what you're talking about." I lied, but my voice cracked, shamefully high-pitched. "You know." He chuckled, a low, sick sound, right at the peephole. "It's your key, isn't it?" He was baiting me, confirming it. "It's not. It's my neighbor's. They left it with me," I said, grasping at straws. Silence. Again, a silence that stretched thin as a wire. I could hear my own heart hammering in my chest. Then he asked. This time, his voice was dripping with mockery. "Is that right? Your neighbors? Well, in that case, is there really someone sleeping in your apartment?" I froze. I had walked right into his trap. My note had backfired. He knew I was lying. He knew I was alone. I heard him mutter a curse. "Bitch!" Then suddenly his tone shifted again, becoming bizarrely cheerful. All right, I'm just messing with you. Scared you to death, huh? food's here. It's spilled everywhere, so I'm just leaving it. But seriously, a girl living alone shouldn't hide her key by the door. It's dangerous." The heavy footsteps moved away. He had just threatened me and warned me in the same breath. "Enjoy your meal." His voice echoed up from the stairwell. He was gone. The stairwell was silent, but that sentence, the sentence about the key, it clawed at my mind. I couldn't calm down, I couldn't breathe, I had to know. I was trembling. I didn't want to open the door, but I couldn't live with the thought that he knew. I carefully turned the lock. I opened the door a crack, just a sliver. The hallway was pitch black. A wind from the open window at the end of the hall whistled through, carrying the smell of mildew and the sharp, sour scent of spilled soup. On the floor was a plastic bag, tipped over. A dark red broth puddled on the tile. It looked more like blood than food. I didn't care about that. I stared at the doormat, a cheap gray mat. I didn't dare touch it with my hand. I used the tip of my foot, trembling, to push the mat aside. Empty. The cold tile underneath was completely bare. There was nothing there. The spare key was gone. He wasn't messing with me. He had been right there, just outside my door, while I stood on the other side, and he had reached down and taken it. He could come back whenever he wanted. Panic hit me like a tidal wave. I staggered back inside. I slammed the door. I threw the deadbolt. I scanned the room in the dim candlelight. I needed something to block the door. I ran to the solid wood shoe cabinet in the corner. It was heavy. I gritted my teeth, using all my strength to drag it across the tile. The screeching noise was deafening. I shoved it in front of the door. Still not enough. He had a key. He could just slowly push the cabinet. I ran to the bedroom, grabbed my folding bike. I took the U-lock, the thick steel kind that bolt cutters would struggle with. I locked the brass door handle to the iron coat hook I drilled into the wall. I had done everything I could. My apartment was a fortress, and I was trapped inside it. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't hold the phone. I dropped it twice. I shakily dialed 911. The call connected. I whispered into the phone, my voice breaking. 11th floor, 1105, the Crestview Apartments. Someone is trying to break in. He has a key. Help! I didn't wait for a reply. I threw the phone into the corner onto a pile of laundry. They could trace the call. They had to. But what now? How long would the police take? I needed someone. Right now. Sarah, my best friend. She lived right next door. Apartment 1104. I was 1105. We shared a wall. I dialed her number. It rang for a long time, each ring drawn out like torture. "What?" Her voice was thick with sleep. "Sarah, help me." I burst into tears, my voice shattering. "Someone is trying to get into my apartment. The delivery guy. He took my spare key. I'm so scared. He knows I'm alone." I told her everything. The voice. The question about someone sleeping. The key being gone. Sarah's voice was instantly awake, filled with panic. "What? Are you serious? Oh my God, he really took the key!" she shrieked. "Okay, stay calm. Don't panic. You're inside, right? Did you lock the door? Is it secure?" I locked it. I barricaded it with the cabinet and the U-lock. I sobbed. "Good, good." Her voice was rapid fire. "Stay right there. I'm coming over right now. Don't hang up. I'm putting on a coat. I'm on my way." I heard rustling, the sound of hurried footsteps. I let out a breath of relief. She believed me. She was coming. "Just hurry, don't," I was saying. Click. She hung up. Why did she hang up? She just told me not to hang up. I waited, my back against the cabinet. I listened. The hallway was short, 10 seconds to get from 1104 to 1105. I strained to hear her door open. Nothing. Just the wind whistling through the hallway window. I stared at the phone lying in the corner. Silence. The silence in my apartment was crushing me. I called her back. One ring, then straight to voicemail. Switched off. She had turned her phone off. She had actively turned it off. A new, colder dread crept into me. She said she was coming right over. Why would she turn her phone off? I didn't dare leave the room. I sat huddled behind my barricade. I grabbed the phone, sent a text. "Where are you? I'm terrified. Call me." The message sent. A single gray check mark. Knock, knock, knock. This time, not a violent slam, but a rapid, weak tapping. It was Sarah. "Mia, open the door! Hurry!" she whispered frantically through the crack. I jumped up, ran to the door. My heart hammered. "What happened?" I yelled, my hand on the U-lock ready to open it. "Why did you hang up?" "My battery died." Sarah slammed her palm on the door. "I was just about to come over when I heard a weird noise in the hallway. Footsteps. I'm scared. I think there's a killer out here. Hurry up, let me in." I froze. The U-lock dangled from my hand. A killer? I stared, my whole body numb. I never said anything about a killer. I only told her about the delivery guy and the key. Her battery was dead. She didn't get any texts. So how? How did she know about the killer? The cold, horrifying truth slammed into me. "Hold on," I tried to keep my voice steady, though my chest felt like it was collapsing. I took a step back from the door. "The U-lock is jammed." "What do you mean, jammed? Open the door, quick!" Sarah's voice suddenly lost all its fear. It became harsh, annoyed. She swore. "You bitch! Open the damn door!" I held my breath. That wasn't the Sarah I knew. "You're not opening it, are you?" Sarah hissed, full of hate. Then suddenly she shrieked, a terrible blood-curdling scream. "Ah, the killer! Help! Help me!" Then silence. A dead silence. I stood motionless. Another voice spoke. A horseman's voice. The delivery guy's voice. He spat. A disgusting hacking sound right outside the door. Then I heard the jangling of keys. My key. He was unlocking the door. The main lock clicked open. The door was pushed. It slammed into the shoe cabinet. But it held. The steel U-lock caught it. The door was stuck, open only a 4-inch gap. I saw a hand reach in, trying to wrestle with the lock. A hand in a work glove. I turned on my phone's flashlight, shining it straight through the gap. A face, pale, sweaty, eyes wide and frantic in the beam. It wasn't the delivery guy from the app. I knew this man. He was the new maintenance guy for the building. He'd come to fix my sink last week. I remember feeling uncomfortable when he kept staring at me. The maintenance man roared at the light. He threw his shoulder against the door. Thud! The shoe cabinet slid a few inches. The steel lock groaned. The old wooden frame started to crack. He hit it again, harder. Thud! The metal of the U-lock began to bend. His grunts were half rage, half effort. I stumbled backward, tripping. The phone flew out of my hand, but thankfully the flashlight stayed on, pointing at the ceiling, plunging the room into a weird, flickering light. I heard sirens, this time no longer distant. They were right outside the building, close. Their wail echoed up from the street below. The man outside heard them too. He went berserk, slamming himself against the door in a frenzy. He wasn't patient anymore. Thud! The sound of splintering wood. One final slam. The door burst open. The U-lock was ripped from the wall, flying across the room. The shoe cabinet tipped over with a crash. The maintenance man stood in the doorway. He was panting. The kitchen knife in his hand was dripping dark red. He stood there, blocking the only exit. He looked at me and grinned. He stepped inside. I didn't scream. I was too terrified to scream. I scrambled backward, my hand fumbling on the table. I grabbed the only thing within reach, the candle. I threw the guttering candle right at his face. He wasn't expecting it. He roared in animalistic pain as the hot wax spattered his eyes. He threw his hands up to his face. At that exact moment, the blinding beam of a tactical flashlight hit him from the stairwell. "Police! Drop the weapon! Hands in the air!" I collapsed to the floor. I didn't see anything else. I just heard the shouting, the struggle, the sound of metal hitting the floor, and the police sirens now right here inside, drowning out the sound of my own heart. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.